Well, I had dinner that night for the family, and he came in, a lot of more of them came in. Some of his friends, I don't know all of them. And when he left, I don't really remember. I went to cleaning up behind everybody, washing dishes and everything, and I don't know exactly what time he left. But he was over to my house.
Oh, yes. I'm Ella Sumlin.
My name's Agnes Mason.
Gloria Marshall. Some call me Faye Marshall. So if they say Gloria, that's Faye.
I'm his cousin.
I am a distant cousin.
He just was an in-law, through by my husband. He wasn't no related to me, period. He was some kin to my husband people. He's a young boy, and I've been knowing him since a child. He's always nice acting.
I've been knowing David. Actually, they would say that David was one of my brother's sons, but he ain't never owned up to it. So I just, he'll say ain't he, but, I go along with that because I really don't know for sure. But I have known him ever since the day he was born.
On the night of the murder, David had an alibi, and that was that he was at a woman named Dora Yarber's house. They were having a fish fry, and there were a lot of people there. At his trial, there ended up being about 7 people who testified as alibi witnesses. And all these witnesses placed David at the fish fry or heading to a convenience store that was several blocks away at the time the murder was being committed.
Okay, well, a lot of times in the summertime, it's almost every weekend. Maybe we had one over on Felker Street, and David would be there, and we had one here.
And we just, ate, and everybody was sitting around talking because there were several people here. They was all sitting around talking. And he got a big mouth, so you could hear him in the kitchen running off at the mouth. So, he wanted everybody to know he was in there, but we already knew he was in there because we saw it.
We had fish, mainly fish, but we had chicken, just had some of everything, potato salad, pies. I had cooked a lot of sweet potato pies. And David was trying to eat it all.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, I remember saying hi to him. And he said, how you doing? And that's about it. And he went to mingling with the people in there, and I went to doing my thing.
It's something where everyone was being called as a witness a year later, and the states tried to poke holes saying that, well, this person said 9:15, this person said 9:30, and this person said they think they saw him, as late as 11 o'clock. But the fact is, people's memories just don't work that way.
The explanation for having so many witnesses come forward would be to really demonstrate that this isn't just, a family member speaking up on his behalf, but there are these other people that had varying degrees of familiarity with him. I think typically if you have some good alibi witnesses, having them testify is going to maybe tip the scale closer to the jury believing the alibi.
Anytime you're putting on multiple alibi witnesses, they're going to have inconsistencies. They had inconsistencies in this case. I think they're understandable and easy to explain as just being human, but I think it shifted the balance.
Everybody started leaving, winding it up. Because, it was kids, the younger kids, and they were getting tired, so everybody was getting ready to go. And the location that I was at, you could hear sirens from right where I was at, and I was hearing sirens.
I left about 9:30 because I think when I got home it was about 10 o'clock. Because as I told you before, I don't really be up late.
Oh, I stayed until about 10 until 11.
And David was still here?
Yes, I left him here. He was here when I left.
I said the ending of it should have been about 10 something. That's the best I can judge.
Well, he was here when I left. I didn't eye contact him, but you know, I was in the living room. If he had left, he would have came back through where we was, you know, and he didn't.
I left around 10-ish, 10:30, pretty much.
Was David still here?
He was still here.
There's, you know, a dispute as to when that he left, you know, exactly what time. And then the rest of the night, you know, he was driving around with friends, went to a couple clubs, you know, but otherwise was leading the life of a person in his 20s.
Basically, anyone who's good at cross-examining is going to try and pin a witness down on a time when maybe they're not comfortable giving the time. And you try and force them to give an answer. And then you use that answer to find ways to poke holes against other witnesses. And it's possible that a jury is going to just use one of those people being inconsistent and hold it against the criminal defendant.
Again, it's a trial strategy that at the time I think the defense obviously thought would be helpful to him rather than harmful, but it doesn't always work out the way that you're hoping.